questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you both for being here. Mr. Dodaro, good seeing you again. And Ms. Kent, congratulations on your recent position. Last year, fiscal year 2017, federal civilian agencies reported over 35,000 information security incidents. That's a stunning number, about a 15% increase from the previous year. This is really to both of you to begin with. What's driving that increase?
I think there's at least two things. One, there's a better awareness on the part of the agencies to report incidents which do occur. But I also think that it's being driven in part by more aggressive activity on the part of state and non-state actors to try to penetrate the federal government systems. This applies to critical infrastructure protection as well. And so I think it's, both factors are at play here at a minimum.
I concur, and we do see an increase across the entire industry in threats, but you also see the increase in reporting, and that's something that we need to continue to move more aggressively across all of the agencies.
All right, so it's both and. We're having more incidents, more attacks, and we're also getting better at detecting them.
Yes.
All right, can you walk me through some of the various means that attackers use to initiate some sort of cyber attack, the threat vectors? What's most common? What's most preventable, Mr. Dodaro?
There's, phishing attacks have been particularly prominent lately in terms of somebody sending an email to someone in the hopes that they'll download malicious code or other factors. There's, social engineering that takes place in those areas as well. There's one of the largest categories, though, in the reporting is other. And other includes they don't know what the threat vector was and how people were able to penetrate the system. That is one of the most concerning aspects of this.
All right, I want to get there. What are the vectors? When you talk about vectors, you've got phishing, you've got, what else? What are we dealing with?
Yeah, we have a pie chart in our testimony. Let me just pull that up here.
Improper usage, email and phishing.
Right.
Lost and theft of equipment and other web-based attacks.
Okay, so those comprise more or less 70%. Then you mentioned 31%.
Right.
That other. So does that mean we have no idea how they're breaking in or what they're doing, or what does that mean?
That means that it's unknown in some of these cases how these things have occurred. I mean, that's the concerning part of this, and that's one of the points that we make in the report. That's why it's important to have an effort to detect these things when they occur. What's been reported in these cases, I mean, the attacks happen in a matter of minutes, but the detection doesn't occur for months later, and that impairs the ability to determine exactly what happened that led to this attack situation.
All right, Ms. Kent, do you want to add to that, your definition or whatever of other?
I would just add to the last point that Mr. Dodaro made, is that we have identified that we have to move much more quickly when an attack is identified to not only share that threat information across agencies, but to act and begin immediate remediation of those issues.
All right, once an attack comes in, particularly I'm with you concerned about the other, where we have no idea how they're getting in, is there any way of tracking where they're coming from?
Some of that's possible with some forensics, but in some cases there's not clear audit trails in the systems that are created in the documentation there. One of the big problems, Congressman, here is that the federal government and a lot of agencies are saddled with these legacy financial systems that are like a millstone around their neck. They're old systems. They were designed before security was a prominent area. Some of them at IRS are from the 60s. And so there's not good documentation, and therefore there's not a good audit trail to follow to figure out how things were introduced.
which is surprising to me and kind of inexcusable, seeing the tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars we give for IT on an annual basis around here. It just amazes me that we're still using such legacy systems. Seems
Well,
like
of the billions of dollars that you give every year, 80, 90 billion, 75% of it goes to maintain these legacy systems.
rather than get updated.
Rather than get updated. So that's why we added IT acquisitions and operations across the government as a high-risk area in 2015.
My time has expired, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much.
The representative from the District of Columbia, Ms. Holmes Norton, you're now recognized for 5 minutes.